What's up and welcome back, you guys. This Life Aspects with Visionary Rose. Grace and love to everybody. Thank you guys for tuning in, rocking, and watching and listening to Life Aspects with Visionary Rose. This is episode 9. We're talking about avoid drowning in your past. Go ahead on to like, share, and subscribe. Get your popcorn, get your snacks together, get your pens and your paper so you can take some notes over here on Life Aspects with Visionary Rose. Let's get into today's topic. Okay, you guys, many times people have a hard time of letting go of the past. They have experienced so many things to where it may have led them to some sort of trauma or PTSD. And trauma is any type of distressing experience, such as like a loss or like a deep embarrassment or a violent situation that you may have been through or that you may have seen. And I'm being reminded of my car accident that I was in. I'm not traumatized to the point to where, I'm afraid to get behind the wheel and drive, but it put me in a mindset mentally to where I'm even more cautious than I was before when I'm behind the wheel. And I'm also being reminded of how I will always like pick on my mom, and I still do pick on my mom, like, you drive too slow, or I always try to get her to beat the red light before beat the red light. So, and I'm always picking on her about that. She always be like, I love my license. Everybody out here, they can speed, they can do what they want to do, but I'ma still have my license and I'ma still have my car. And so one of the things I take from her is that, she will always tell me, when you out here on the road, you driving for yourself and you driving for everybody else. And so you may have been through some type of traumatizing event to where you were like bullied as a child. And so the things that the bully was saying to you as a child, it may have some sort of effect on you as an adult, or maybe you were abused mentally, emotionally, to where, it has an effect on you in your adulthood, or maybe you are in your adulthood and you may, experience some type of abuse, or maybe some type of verbal abuse, or maybe you just may be feeling some type of mental abuse or some sort of emotional abuse that you may be feeling, even things that has, taken place in your childhood that has led to your adulthood. And maybe for my people who have been like, went through some sort of traumatizing event, so where they were like raped or molested, and even for my men as well too, for my men who was like raped or molested, or who have been through some sort of like DV situations. And we don't hear more so of men going through those type of, DV situations, or them being raped as well too. Many people feel like, it's more so of women that's being raped than men, but it's really more so of men that's being raped than women. And so when you go through those things, or when you were growing up, you was always told in the home, maybe it was said in your home, whatever happens in this home stays in this home, or, whatever is said in this home, it stays in this home. And so growing up, you didn't know what was taking place, or you didn't really know what was going on. So as you got older, you realized things that has taken place in your childhood, that your innocence was taken away. You may feel like you were protecting, a certain person in your childhood. And so that's why you didn't say anything. But as you got older, you realized that you should have said something. You realized that you should have brought awareness to the situation, or you should have brought awareness to some sort of traumatizing event that has happened in your life, and you didn't know. And so you can't blame yourself, or you can't, feel bad about, for you, not speaking up, because you were just a child and you didn't really know, or you didn't really understand. So forgive yourself for that. Forgive yourself. Don't beat yourself up about that, but more so of take care of yourself as you are progressing in your adulthood, because you are not like how you was as your childhood. Like, the childhood version of you is not who you are as your adult version. And even if you find yourself, like some things that you are still like, deeply, deeply like affected by, it's also important to really seek out the proper help that you need. And also, I'm being reminded of the scripture that I want to encourage you guys with. Psalms 147 verse 3. He heals the brokenhearted and bandages their wounds. You remember when you was a child and you had, hurt yourself on the playground, or you even had seen like a child that was hurt on the playground, and how when they were crying and stuff like that, and the teacher, or you may even have helped a child that was, that had hurt themselves on the playground, and you was like, why are you being dramatic? It's not that serious. Stop crying. Come here. And so the child is crying. And so when you heal them up and you clean them up, clean that wound out, they're no longer crying and stuff. You may give them a lollipop, or you may give them a snack, and, sit them down for a little bit. And so it just kind of reminds us of how God does us, how, when we're going through so much, and when we're brokenhearted by certain situations, how he heals our heart. He saturates us with his love and his support. And, he just takes over, and and he heals us on things that needs healing. And so I'm also being reminded of a traumatizing, wasn't more so of trauma. Well, it did, but it also had like an effect on me to where I mentally felt like, I wasn't going to get out of it, or, I wasn't going to get through it. But now, now that I think about it and where I'm at today, I only thank God about, the things that, that he has brought me out. And so, how my sister will always remind me, Angel, you don't look like you've been through like what you've been through. Like, God has really brought you out. So don't go back to what God has brought you out. And, I thank God for my sister of how she reminds me to not go back to what God has brought me out of. You don't look like what you've been through. You even talk different. You even the things that how you move, everything that you say, like, is different. You speak through experience and you're helping others. And so, I thank God that God has put a person like my sister into my life, and she's younger than me. And so for me to be like an example to her, and for her to see, the changes and the growth into my life, it's just like, okay, my sister, like, I got somebody though, that look up to me. I got somebody that's watching me. They seen the phases and the changes that I've been through, and for them to recognize, like, Rose, you ain't real, like, Rose, you don't look like what you've been through. And I'm just like, I know, bro. I know, like, the things that that used to have me bound mentally, emotionally, physically and spiritually. Like, that's why I get up here and I talk to you guys, and I speak through experience. I speak through things that I learn, speak through things that I read, and more so of, like, my experience. Like, I don't want nobody to go through the things that I went through. So that's why I spread this awareness and this topic of avoid drowning into your past. I felt like it was very beneficial as you guys are on your direct path, and I'm on my direct path as well too. So as I help y'all, like, I help me help y'all help me help me. And so we have to understand that it's the self-care and the self-love and the self-awareness, how that's very, very important as you are on your journey. It's very, very important. Also, with having to avoid from drowning into your past. And so when you take care of yourself, and when you have that self-care and you have that self-love, when you fully take care of yourself and you get out of those deep-rooted emotions and those deep-rooted feelings, and we have to ask God to clean us up from things that we don't realize that we need to be cleaned up from inside. And so when you take care of yourself and you discover what needs to be worked on, you got to also remember that your yesterday, like I said, isn't your tomorrow. And so you analyze what needs to be worked on, and you don't hold yourself back from what needs to be worked on, but you put in the work. And also, it may seem hard, it may seem difficult. I know there was times where it was hard for me to get out the bed. It was hard for me to, continue to keep going and continue to keep doing the things that God has called for me to do. But let me tell you something, you will make it. Like, you will make it. Like, I am telling you guys, you will make it, because where I was, like, mentally, and how I was, like, feeling, like, my mental is not there anymore. Like, I'm speaking from a place of experience. I'm speaking from a place of wanting to help others get through what it is that I face. And so, I can only do what it is that God has called me to do. And so as I get up here and I share this awareness with you guys, I want you to know that, it's okay to speak out. For my men, never be afraid to speak out or to get help. And even for my women, never be afraid to, speak out or to get help. Don't be silenced about something that needs to be spoken out loud. Like, I'm not going to be silent about anything. I'm going to spread awareness. I'm going to share. I'm going to be truthful with it as well too. Like, I can't be silent about anything. Can't be silent about anything. I'm not going to hold myself back. I'm going to identify them emotional habits. And there are some things that I'm still working on as well too. God may have brought me out, but there are some things that I still got to work on, and that I still got to, continue to keep doing. And so I want to share with you guys that, it's important. It's important to know what it is that you're facing, but that it's also okay to not be okay. And so I always thought of, when I was going through it, I always thought that, I always, felt like, when I had took the time to myself, I was like, well, I'm abandoning something, I'm abandoning something like that I need to be doing. But I was like, it wasn't meant for me to be, up there doing what I was supposed to be doing, because, of the things that I was going through. And if I would have had got up there and been doing the things as I was going through, I would have been speaking from a place of emotion, and like coming from like a hurt place. And so when I took the time to just like by myself and allow God to really talk to me and tell me what is it, the things that I need to, how I need to move about certain situations, you know, that's when I was able to really get back up on the platform and get back and talk to you guys and stuff like that. So I hope you guys took something from this episode. I hope you guys are healing. I hope you guys are on this journey to where you need to be. Like, the healing journey is not easy. It's not going to be easy, and it's very important that you heal. You find people that want to heal like you. You find people that want to get to the next level like you. It's what you surround yourself by. So I'm being reminded of, like, when I was around things that wasn't for me, but when I took time to myself and then I got by myself, I started to see things like differently. The mindset is different. What it is that I thought that I had needed, or what it is that I thought that was best for me, it really wasn't best. And you'll find yourself like, okay, the things that I thought was best for me is not best for me, and sometimes you have to go through something in order for you to come out stronger, come out wiser, come out, where it is that you need to be. And let me tell you something, when you heal from your trauma, or when you heal from your pain, and when you change, it's not meant for, like I said, it's not meant for, you don't change for other people. You don't change for, people to like you. You don't change for that, but you change for yourself, whether other people see it or not. You change for yourself. And many times, many people want you to, do all this changing and stuff and do. And, they're always watching you and stuff like that. And they're, putting expectations on you that they don't even have for themselves. And so that's why the change is for you. That's why the avoid drowning in your past is for you. It's not for anybody else. Many people could be looking so deep into your life and, trying to pinpoint where you are, or even trying to even track your progress on where you are, healing wise, or where you are, mentally, emotionally, and physically. This you don't have any, like, this is not an evaluation. It's not an evaluation. The only person that's evaluating us is God. And when other people try to evaluate you, they're never going to be all the way there when they're never going to be all the way right there and knowing. And 9 times out of 10, they really never know. It's really what they think that they know, and just on the outside looking in. And you also have to be careful when you are trying to avoid from drowning in your past, and when you are trying to change, is that you really, really have to be careful, because many people will see you coming out from a dark place, and they also try to remind you or make you feel or make you think that you didn't, that you are not out of your dark place, or that you didn't change from this, or that you didn't do this. So that's why it's very, very important to take the time to heal from yourself. And when you are working on your healing, and when you are working on things into your life, be mindful of who you share it with, because many people will try to watch you, and they try to watch your progress to see what you're doing, so that they can say, oh, you're not doing this, you didn't do this, you didn't do that. It's not meant for you to be tracked by your progress. It's not meant for that. Your progress is your progress. Just like how I said, your consistency is none of their business. So go back and watch that video if you guys haven't watched it. I hope you guys have been enjoying the episodes that have been taking place. I'm going to be speaking on some things that I normally don't speak about on here. So you guys stay tuned, like and share, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out, and also click on the notification bell so that when I post, you'll get that notification to come through your phone right along with them other notifications. You can have one more notification like Life Aspects come through, so just go ahead on and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on nothing that's taking place over here. I love you guys, and like I said, continue to keep rocking and watching and listening to Life Aspects with Visionary Rose. We're going places and we're going higher in God. I love y'all, and thank y'all for rocking as always.